Hey, lady. Don't you? I don't hear you. You're muted. You look.
Hi.
You look so gorgeous, Erin. Oh
You.
my God.
Oh, that's
Yes,
so nice.
you do. You do. You do. You do.
What a little bit of makeup will do at the end of a day. What a
Don't.
little bit of zhuzhing
Yeah.
of the
Shushing.
eyebrows.
Yes, yes. I'm going, if it's okay with you,
Yeah.
if you could see me to see if I can start a watch party or something.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely. I'm not sure I know how to do that yet. I'm not very smart. It is live on the
If you could see me, Paige.
page, yeah. Although we're not up yet. I don't know
Okay.
why. It tends to be a little delayed. I don't know.
It does do that. It does. Definitely.
So let me refresh and see where we are.
Okay.
All right. So, I mean, this is just us having a conversation.
That's right. Talks with T, we conversate. We do not have interviews.
That's right.
We do not have interviews. We have conversations. So I tell people that all the time when they're talking. I was like, no, we have conversations.
Right. All right. So I have two laptops. One has I'm following Facebook, and one I'm on our meeting. So
okay.
That's what I'm doing if I'm going back and forth.
That's okay.
And I'm gonna record.
All right.
Are you cool with that?
That's right.
Okay. All right. It's exactly 7:00.
Okay. Starting a watch party. I hit the button.
Watch party. Oh, okay. Look, I can start a watch party too.
That's right. I don't know parties everywhere.
I don't know how, but I'm gonna do it.
I hit a button and it says start watch party, and I just clicked the button.
That's what I'm doing too. Look at this.
I'm like, yes, this works.
We're finally here. We finally made it.
Oh, I know, and I miss you guys so much because now I'm in Spotsylvania as opposed to in Richmond proper. Yes, I've been almost a year. We'll talk about that off camera.
Okay. I didn't even know that happened. Oh yes, my gosh.
Yes. Can you see me? Am I clear? Because
You're beautiful as always.
Oh, thank you. That's because I'm a reflection of you.
Oh, but your mic just went weird. What just happened?
Okay, hold on. Let me put in the earphones. I was hoping that wouldn't happen, but
well, it was good, and then you did something. You just touched something, and then it went away.
Is that better?
No.
Is that better?
You might need to get a little closer.
Okay. Hold on. Let me. Better? I'm in the earphones.
Oh, perfect. Much
better.
Much better.
Good.
Okay, let's just do that. Let's just take a deep breath.
Yes.
7 p.m.
Yes.
On a Monday evening. Oh my goodness. Today is October 19th. Welcome, friends and family, to this joint session of Talks with T and the If You Could See Me podcast. We've been talking about this for 1,000 million months. And much as 2020 is, it happened when it needed to happen, when it was supposed to happen, right?
That's right. We know it all happens for a reason, and there are no coincidences per se.
That's right. So how are you, Tara Culton? Tell my audience about you, about what you do, about Talks with T. Let's just start there.
Okay. Well, I'm Tara, of course, Tara Culton, and I'm the creator of Talks with T. And Talks with T is a peer support initiative that really seeks to have healing conversations about mental health illness at all costs. We talk about the real, the raw, the in-between, how it affects us in business, how it affects us in our faith, how it affects us in our relationships, how mental health illness, that is, or a mental health illness diagnosis affects us. And what I've been doing, my pastor Apostle Sharon Jones, really pushed me out in this. And as soon as she pushed me out, then I was connected with you through Andy. Hi, Andy, if you're watching. But and that you made such, and I know we're supposed to be talking about Talks with T, but you and the If You Could See Me project made such an impact on my faith family. You really did. She mentions you often. She mentions the participants, and even my brother, Doug. He talks about when he came that June and what he saw and what he experienced. And because of the If You Could See Me project, it's been life changing. And I know we all haven't gotten back together, and I know we're still doing different things, whatever, but it really has been life changing. And Talks with T is just a homegrown grassroots thing that, let everybody come. I wish we were not in the land of COVID.
I know.
So because it was so impactful when we could get together in person and really, really have discussions. But what I found is that people are using this platform, the virtual platform or the online platform. So I'm seeking to do some more things to be a little more consistent because life got lifey.
Life got lifey.
Life got lifey.
That is the understatement of the millennium.
Come on. Who knew COVID? We're not politicizing it. I'm just saying that we had no idea as human beings this was coming down. We know our higher power did for me. That's God. I know he knew, but I'm like, come on, God, what's up? But I can say what it has allowed me to do is to really sit back and during the month of September, Suicide Awareness Month, as well as other awareness activities and events as well, I was able to really share with people because, Erin, I was getting calls from people that I knew were on the edge, and I knew they were on the edge. And every opportunity I got to speak, just saying, hey, can we just hold on a little while longer? Right. Just somebody does care. And I know, we say we're social distancing, but we're really physical distancing, and that we need the social interaction. So if we have to do it by phone, by computer, old-fashioned letter writing, what about that?
Yep.
What about that? That will be good to do. So, and all of this, I'm here, you're here, and this is when it was supposed to happen.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's
Absolutely. It. Well, I just, remember, hello to everyone joining us on Facebook. I see you, and I am thrilled to spend the evening with you, with my friend Tara Culton of Talks with T. I remember, Tara, when you joined the project and you came on, and it was like you came on a little late, I think, and we had already started, and you just kind of raced into the room, and then you just became a part of the family immediately. But when you got up that first night and it gives me chills just thinking about it, because you're such an incredible dynamic speaker and performer. And, I know that comes from your experience as a pastor and, someone who speaks in front of your church community. But, oh my gosh, it's just, you had call and response, you had, it was just, and you talked about some really, as everyone does, they talk about really heavy, difficult issues.
Absolutely.
And, always do so with a sense of, humility and hope and love. And that is, somebody said something to me in passing at some point about, having been a part of something where, storytellers just, got up and tried to trigger one another.
Wow.
And I was like, well, gosh, golly jeepers. I know that's a term that they use in the 21st century. Gosh, golly jeepers.
Yeah.
That's not what we're here to do.
That
We're
is not
here
what we're here to
you
do.
know, to say our truth, certainly,
Right.
but not for, public reaction as much as our own catharsis and connection,
Come
bringing people
on.
together, right?
Yes. Yes. That's what we do. Yeah.
So, how are you? Like, let's talk. Like, how are you doing?
I am doing well. I went on yesterday for just a brief moment on the Talks with T page to talk about masks. And today I was going to go on it too, and I decided to wait to do that tomorrow because I saw a post by a very good friend of mine, and she had posted about someone who died by suicide. And I could tell, well, it somewhere in the post, or either just it triggered in my mind in terms of, when I say triggered, not emotionally, but just the thought came
Right, it came up.
that we wear masks. And so I went, when you asked me, how am I had to be honest with myself, Erin. I had to sit back and say, over the past 3 weeks, you have worn a mask in some situations because you really wanted to cry, you really wanted to scream, but instead you put on the smile.
That's right.
And so, as I was thinking about that today, I thought, that's what I'm going to talk about. What mask are you wearing? Are you wearing the smile where everybody thinks that you're okay? And I posted about it. So just because we're on the front lines every day, and just because we do smile, because that's who we are authentically, that does not mean we're doing okay. And please just take a moment and check on everybody. But overall, I'm blessed. I'm here in Georgia, actually, with visiting. Yeah, I'm actually visiting I came here for one thing and ended up having to stay a little while longer. And I'm enjoying staying with one of my nieces, and I will be traveling to see another one. I do tell people, I'm not sure Georgia knows it's in a pandemic. I'm not sure. My anxiety was a little up. I talked to my therapist. I said, I don't know if these people know it's a pandemic or not.
What's happening here?
But we have self-quarantined and we have kept ourselves safe. And matter of fact, we went and got retested last Thursday. So I realized just being in different environments, how that will trigger my own anxiety. And even what they now think the doctors believe I've had a panic attack. I've never had one before. I've never had one. I talked to my therapist. I went to the ER because of something, and the doctor, I was graced to have a Black female doctor, and she said, it could be one of two things. You either had a heart attack or you had a panic attack.
Right.
And so I was like, I've never had a panic attack before. So what I've done for me is just to take it slow, to breathe, to love on myself, to love on those around me, to really appreciate something as simple as the dog Jasmine wanting to sleep with me at night.
Right.
Because I don't have animals of my own, or my nephew saying, auntie, da 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 da, auntie, because I don't hear that,
Right.
And then talking with my granddaughter, Kaylin, most of the time I have no idea what she's saying, but I'm like, yes, yes.
That's how I feel when I talk to my children. I'm like,
oh my gosh,
speak another language. I don't ever know what you're talking about.
I know. I hear my niece saying, come on, you got to talk to me. But yeah, I just realized just how blessed I am. And then realizing the number of people who don't have what we have, Erin, which is a viable support system of some type.
Yep. Yeah.
I was sharing with my niece today about you. And I was, just telling her what an awesome woman you are, and how when I met you, because I think I came in the next to the last session before the project mounted on stage when I came in, because you guys had already been meeting, but how when I met you, you were you. And sometimes when I meet people who, watch your words, sometimes when I meet people, they're not as authentic.
Well, thank you.
They're not as authentic. So I felt comfortable, although I was nervous because I was just coming into the project. And then that January when the project mounted, I was like, oh my God, listening to other stories, listening to people who are not part of the If You Could See Me project or Talks with T, and realize how blessed we are. Yeah. I have times when my niece Candace will call and she said, auntie, you're isolating. She's in Georgia. I mean, I'm at her house right now, but she's in
Right.
Georgia. But
Yep.
she's like, I don't see you on Facebook. I don't da 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 da. Or I have times where my pastor, Apostle Sharon Jones, will reach out and say, okay, what's going on? And a lot of us with lived experience, Erin, we just don't have that.
Right.
And we don't have it particularly during COVID-19, which it appears we'll be living with for a while.
For a while, yes. You know, I
Yeah.
think it's just really fascinating that you brought up the, you know, the mask wearing and the, you know, the isolating. First of all, that is one heck of a niece that you have to be
Yes.
that keyed into you. And for those of you who are watching us right now talk, you know, isolation and changes in behavior
Oh,
is one of the primary number one you know signs that there is a potential mental health issue happening. You know, people are frequently asking me, you know, what do I look for? How do I know? What is
yes.
it gonna, you know, and what do I do? And it's complicated and multifaceted because people are, you know, not a monolith. But if you're used to seeing someone on Facebook on a regular basis, or you're used to seeing someone in church, or, you know, at the grocery store, wherever you run into your people, and then all of a sudden you're not seeing them, and you notice that you're not seeing them, check in. You know, isolating and pushing people away is, you know, one of the primary you know, symptoms, signs that there's something not happening. And so what a blessing. You're absolutely right. What a blessing it is for you to have people in your life who notice that, who see it and go, hey, what's going on? You know?
Absolutely. Because there was a series of days, Erin, when I woke up like on day 4 or 5 and realized I had not taken a shower in 4 days. I realized that I had been in my room, and I have a relatively small apartment, had not seen my roommate for a week.
Wow.
I realized, and I said, "Oh, you're right there at the precipice of this thing. You're on the cliff. What happened? What's going on?" And sometimes trying to explain that to people, because believe it or not, I am an introvert. Don't say a word, Erin. Don't say a word.
I am too, and nobody believes it. So
that's right.
I'm not challenging you.
That's right. You get it. You get it. You get it. And so staying in the room or being by myself doesn't bother me at all.
Right.
But I realized that, hey, hold on 1 second. Do you want to be on camera? She said, now I was going to bring the great niece on.
Oh, well, tell her we said hello.
Erin says hello and thank you. But yeah, I realized, okay, something's wrong. And so I reached out to my therapist, of course. And I really had to start to reevaluate my wellness plan to say, okay, what worked pre-COVID is not working now.
Right.
So, you know, it's like, take some deep breaths. Let's reevaluate that, you know. But how are you, Erin? How are you? Particularly since your fall. Let's switch it. How are you doing? And would you please tell the people a little bit about your background and the major accomplishment that we have done? We being that would be you.
No, we both have had some major accomplishments. I am Erin Mahone, and I created the If You Could See Me project, and I wrote a book called If You Could See Me, Life, Motherhood, and the Pursuit of Sanity. Getting ready to start working on the 2nd edition, so I'm excited about that, celebrating 3 years of publication. And I am a mom. I have 3 kids, and I just completed my master's degree in counseling, which I'm very excited about. I work in the mental health field. I'm also a writer and a performing artist. And, you know, this year has been
you know, I mean,
I want to say to you, I'm great. And put on that mask.
Yes.
Right? And just
Right.
say, I am the luckiest woman alive, which I am.
Right.
There's nothing for me to be sad about. I
Mhm.
have, a magnificent partner, beautiful children, a roof over my head, food to eat. My family, knock on wood, is healthy. I have a really cute little dog. I have a great job, an education, this amazing project that I get to work on, people like you in my life. And yet
The reality.
And yet depression.
That's right.
Right?
And yet anxiety.
Right. Oh yeah, that too. But
yeah.
I don't know which one comes first. I have never been able to figure out which was the primary.
Yeah.
Does the depression cause the anxiety? Does the anxiety cause the depression? Who the hell knows?
That's right.
But I'm doing what I got to do most of the time, and sometimes I'm not. This year, for those of you who may Matt Ray on Facebook just said, unfortunately, I don't think any of us can say we are doing magnificent. Thank you,
Come
Matt.
on,
I
Matt.
appreciate that.
Thank you, Matt.
It's not just me, right?
That's right.
But this year was a big year for the If You Could See Me project. We were expanding to, from 2 shows a year to 7 shows a year. We were expanding the podcast. We were starting a health and safety fund. We were, doing a lot of new things. We had merch, we got t-shirts, we were going to sell it all at the shows. And, we haven't been able to do all of that.
Right.
And so, it's been disappointing because, we were expecting one thing and we got another thing.
Right.
But oh my gosh, if that's what I have to complain about, then, then it'll be okay.
Right.
I just have decided or realized the value of, the parts of my life that have prepared me for uncertainty.
Oh, wow. That's good.
Right.
That's good.
Like I had to learn at certain times in my life that I'm not in control and I don't get to choose what happens beyond, like what choices I make. And sometimes stuff falls apart.
Yeah, it does. I get it. I so get it. I had to say to someone recently, I said, it took me a while to give up control because that was by not having control in so many situations previously, then I want to control everything because I felt safe.
Yes.
And I realized that the stress of it all, but not until I had that mental health crisis at work in 2016, when I said, oh, forget this is too much energy, but I still have to work at that. I still have to work at that, particularly during these COVID-19 times.
Right.
I have to really, and like you, I want to say that I'm okay. I want to say that everything is great, but there are just times that it's not.
Right.
It's just not. I want to be able to say that, oh, I'm going to jump out here and do this. And
right.
The disappointment of it, or realizing that this is my capacity over here, but I want to be way up here somewhere. Does that make sense?
Oh my gosh. Big yes.
Yes.
Big, like if I can write it on the screen. Yes. I wake up every day and I'm have the list and I have all the things and I'm so excited. And
yeah. I know. It's been a challenge. It's been a challenge. Even my therapist asked me, she says, okay, because she's of another ethnic group than I. And she said, okay, how are you handling all of the things racially? And I said, Erin, I can say this to you. It's like, I wake up with stigma every day. I'm a Black woman in America. Right. I just do. I said, and what I experienced during those first few months, I had not really experienced that in Virginia. And I experienced being followed. I was on my way to a medical appointment in Richmond, and it was the morning hadn't the sun hadn't come up. I experienced being followed, and the people just happened to have a Confederate flag on the truck that was following me. There was I was in the middle lane, and they were in the fast. I was in the fast lane, so I moved over, and then they moved over, and so I was like, there's nobody there. So I'm just driving, driving, driving. Then they get beside me. And so now my thoughts go to, where can I get off safely? Because I'm in Spotsylvania, Fredericksburg. There are a lot of exits, nothing there.
Right.
So I had to really share my reality was that I have a heightened sense of awareness. So my anxiety is up. Where I live, there were a lot of protests going on. Not like Richmond, though. Not like Richmond. I was like, what? But the whole atmosphere of where we live, when I say where we live, not physically, but where we are in history, is that, yeah, So I get it. And all the things we want to do, you and I want to do to help people to get their stories out, to help them to claim back a part of their lives that they may have thought they lost is, whew, yeah. We're going to take a deep breath together. Ready?
Yes. Audience, take a deep breath with us.
Take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath with us. We must do it. We must do it collectively, to take a deep breath and realize that we are all connected, and we are all our brother's keepers.
Yes.
Not to sound cliche, not to sound mushy or whatever the other word.
Why not? We're all about it. Mush away.
We are mushy people.
I'm all about the mush.
Yes, 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 yes. So I realized also, Erin, not only that, but working with entrepreneurs, because with On Time Task Virtual Solutions, which is my business, I was coming across people that, as I'm listening to them, I'm realizing, oh my gosh, I'm not with you because of how I may serve you in this capacity. Right. I'm with you because there's some mental health stuff going on. Right. So I have had to pivot and figure out how to mesh the two, because I wasn't hearing people talk about that. I wasn't hearing people talk about not just COVID-19, but just having lived experience as a business owner, trying to do this day in, day out, or people like yourself, you got families, you're in school, you're trying to run a business. It's like, oh my goodness. So my heart has been going out. So the next thing that Talks with T will be doing will be Talks with T, the entrepreneurial series. And I finally set my hind parts down, because I will tend the hardest thing. I told my niece, I said, I've got to sit down and do me. I'm doing everybody else. And someone actually told me that. They say, you need to hire you for you. You can get all in the details and everybody else.
I recently did that.
See?
Hired a me for me.
See, that's it.
Because I needed it desperately, because I couldn't do it for myself. I
can't do it. And I had two different people from two different spheres, walks of life, that I met at an event say, you need to hire you for you. Because, people had business cards. I don't have business cards. I was like, okay, I'm working on their website. I don't have a website. And I said, you know what, you're right. So they said, just take you out of you. And my really good friend, Tressie Renee said to me, she said, stop, T, just stop. You've been doing this to you for years. Just stop.
Right. The cobbler's children have no shoes.
No shoes.
Right?
That's what I was saying a few weekends ago. All weekend, I said, the cobbler's children, they don't have shoes. And he makes shoes, so yeah, all that kind of stuff. And then it plays on my not being good enough, not being able to get it out, not being the what's the word I'm looking for? The self-esteem.
Yeah.
And I had to really look at myself in the mirror and say, chick, you real good at what you do. You are dang on good at what you do.
Right. Yes.
Let somebody do that for you.
Yep.
Go ahead and release it, because that was a part of my control. My thought was, no, I know what I want. I don't have to tell anybody. And And I also realized that was part of me holding myself back.
Oh my gosh. It's like you and I are having the same conversation right now with our people and with ourselves.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Same thing.
Oh
Same
my
thing.
gosh. Oh my gosh.
It is. It's like, just that voice of resistance that Stephen Pressfield talks about, that I tell everybody about, like it's there to tell you that you can't, when, you need to tell it to sit down and be quiet.
That's right.
You can, and you should, and the world needs you.
Absolutely needs us, and they need so many other people too.
Yeah.
The world needs so many other people.
All those other people who are listening to that voice, right?
Yes.
Right?
It's real important that we being the world, that we understand that, we can really do this. I made a post today that says, so life presented me with lemons. I took the seeds and I planted an orchard. That's what I did.
I love it.
I profited from it. I was like, okay, this is my life. This is my story. I had to grieve what it wasn't. I had to grieve what I thought it was going to look like at age 59. I had to grieve a whole bunch of things. But then I realized, girl, you got a bucket full of seeds. You've made the lemonade, you strain the seeds, plant them, and profit from it.
Right. It's so brilliant. I love that so much. Tara, we have a comment from somebody on Facebook, Matt, again.
Okay.
He says he's responding to your story about being followed. And he says, Tara, I'm sorry for your experience.
Thank you, Matt.
Ignorance is rampant right now. I will ride with you anytime.
Come on, Matt. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
So he said, don't think most will bother me. My wife says I am big, bald, and covered in tattoos. Maybe scary looking, but I'm a big baby.
So, Matt, thank you so very much. I'm appreciative. I love it. I tell people all the time, everybody does not carry that type of ignorance. I have an amazing neighbor that when I moved in, we moved in and the next week we were shut down because of COVID.
Oh my gosh.
She didn't see me because I'm high risk. So I stayed in the house most of the time, not even going to the mailbox at that point. I would just, it was, so finally she saw me, she says, because we were about to call the police. We didn't see you. We did not see you. We didn't know what was going on. We saw your roommate, but we didn't see you. And finally, I was just going to knock and say, hey, what's going on? I said, I'm fine. I said, I'm just very high risk. So we don't know what this is. People have said, they tell us one thing one day, another. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. I said, so I'm just taking what Erin said for me, on the side of caution.
Erring on the side of caution.
Yes, erring on the side of caution. It's what I'm doing, and just saying, just stay. Just stay. But if anybody else has it, anybody have any more questions? Because I can't see Facebook or any of that.
Please, anybody who is watching, please feel free to post a question in the comments. And there's Malika. Hi, Malika. She's waving at us. My RVA mic share sister. I'm so glad to see you joined on. Anybody who has any mental health questions, any coping issues, any do you have a family member or a friend who's dealing with things that that you're not quite sure how to address or handle? Please.
Just
please
jump
send
in
us
and
a
question or something. I was trying to see, I know I did the watch party, but to see if, hold on 1 second for me. Candace, is anybody from the family watching? Okay. Me, Mama Patrice, and Brian. Okay, my mom, my sisters, if you guys have questions or you want to have comments, I was just told, I had to ask my niece, is anybody from the family on? Is anybody I know on? Because I can't see anything. And so she said, yes. So I was like, okay, all right. And I will say this, that in as part of my healing journey, I wrote a chapter in a book. And in that chapter, I sent that chapter to my mother first and asked her, would she be okay if it was published? And she said, okay. And prior to that, my mother and I, and it's public knowledge, we sort of were in two different boats, let me put it that way.
Right.
And I can say she is one of my biggest supporters now. It makes my heart so glad, Erin. It just makes my heart so glad. She is one of my biggest supporters. She and my sisters, because my sisters didn't grow up with me in the house. So they only knew of me. They didn't really know me. And as they got to know me, I was like, I'm not like that at all. I'm like, I'm so down to earth. Like, what you see is what you get.
Right.
Like, I'll tell you a funny story. I've never had weave in my hair, right? So today I'm wearing a head full of weave, guys. Yes. If I looked bald yesterday and I got hair today.
You look beautiful.
Oh, wait a minute. My niece told me I wasn't supposed to tell anybody. We're too authentic for that. She's shaking her head. She's like, come on, Auntie. They'll think it's your hair. Well, anyway, the thing was, it came out so cute that I was like, ooh, ooh, ooh.
I'm quite jealous.
But Erin, you look gorgeous. You look so gorgeous. But I told her, I said, don't be surprised if next week is pink or something. And how does that relate to this conversation? I realized we're talking about the mask. I realized that I like big hair. I have always liked big hair. Any of my sisters or anybody that knows me knows I've always liked big hair. The bigger the hair, the closer to heaven. And I told I had something up and they said, I said, I want to look like Dolly Parton. I just do.
Yes. And own it.
And own it. So I have had so much fun being my authentic self, being the person who I am, not just here, but throughout this journey. And when I met someone after the show in June of 2019, was it? Yes, ma'am. What you need? Now she's trying to talk to me, but she doesn't want to come on camera. And she thinks I'm going to capture all this.
This is necessary.
She said, this is just a necessary conversation. These are the conversations that need to be had.
Thank you.
And whatever else she said. So
it's true.
Yeah. But I was sharing, that mask of trying to be someone I'm not.
Yeah.
And being who I really am. I like big earrings. I like big hair. I sort of kind of like makeup, but how does this relate to us? After the If You Could See Me project in June of 20, was it last year? Last year? Okay.
Well, you did it twice.
I did, yeah. So whenever that was, when we were over by...
First time was January 2019, and then you did it again in June.
Okay, that was it. And someone walked up to me. They saw me someplace. They saw me that night, and then they saw me someplace else and said, you were meant to do this. You're just who you are. And I said to them, I said, I really am like this all the time.
Right.
I said, I might be behind closed doors, but I really am like this all the time. I said, I'm fun loving. I like to laugh. Right. I like to, this is what you get. I do know how to dress up and act right in public though, Erin. So you could take me someplace and I'll be all right.
Well, duh. But see, you're talking to me. So,
that's right. I forgot that for a moment. I had amnesia for a moment.
So
two of us together. Oh my God.
You can be both authentic and have big hair and tell everybody that it's a weave.
That's right.
And, like, I'm the girl who people are like, oh, I love your whatever. And I'm like, thanks. I got it for $3 at the thrift store.
Yeah.
Right? Like you too can be this fabulous. Right?
That's right. I love it.
There's no veil here.
That's right. We threw the veils and the masks away when we decided we were going to be healed.
Right.
That's it. So
no artifice, except that, sometimes I do pretend to be a little bit more okay than I am. Because I don't want to need other people. As much as isn't that weird though?
Yeah.
Maybe other folks who are watching can chime in on this part of the conversation. But as much as I love people, I am terrified of needing people. And all of my value is like wrapped up in, you know, can I contribute to your life?
Come
But
on.
Lord forbid I should ever need anybody to, you know, help me. I
See,
would fall on the floor.
I know. It would having my brother says it best. He's not my biological brother, but he's my brother. He says, you don't like asking for help and you don't like for people to help you. I said, no. So when I got ready to come to Georgia, there was a situation. And I said, if I need you, I promise you, I'm going to call you if I need you. And even here with my niece and her husband, my nephew, and my great nephews, there are some things that they have done because they said they wanted to do it. And in my head, I'm like, but I don't really, you know?
Don't
Yes.
I'll just be over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I get it. I get it. I get it. And my brother will say to me, he'll say, because I call him brother too, he'll say, can you type something for me right quick? And then he'll say, okay, I cashed up you, whatever he cashed up, because I know you won't accept it otherwise. I said, no, I'm getting better. I'm getting better. I'm getting better.
I will accept it.
I will
When
accept
it's
it.
sent to me digitally, I will accept it.
I will
But I
accept
don't have to make eye contact with you.
it. You know what I find? I find that I took that into my business so that I did not price my services appropriately.
Mm-hmm.
And I priced them. I don't even know what I was thinking, to be honest. I don't, Erin. I don't know what I was thinking. So I got my little hind parts read really well. And the person said to me, said, this comes down to your self-worth. And this comes down to what you're dealing with your trauma.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't need anything, then you're like, well, I'll just get it done. I'll do this. And you
Nobody can hurt me if I do it all myself. Right.
If I do it all myself, nobody can hurt me. I won't be disappointed. I won't be, just won't be
I will
needy.
be poor.
I will be poor.
Right.
I will be poor. Hold on a second. My assistant here, of which I didn't know I had, says, I don't like asking for help because I've been let down by those who were supposed to help me so many times until it makes you vulnerable. And I don't like vulnerability. I think she commented on Facebook, which is my niece. And so it's like, yeah, that's true.
Yep.
That's true. That's true. Or being afraid to ask for help because we've been taught to keep silent and to mute our voices.
Mm-hmm. Right.
To mute our voices.
What you need is not important.
It's not important. You don't need to do it. I've had my pastor actually say to me, she says, no, I had a conversation with someone. And I said, yes, I had finished the conversation. She said, wait, wait. You're going to have the next one is a paid conversation, right? And I was like, no, because she says, no, that's not how business works. Right. And I will tell my clients,
not a volunteer.
I'm not, come on, Erin, come on. And I would tell my clients that I was like, I had one client, I said, tell me how much time and how much money you spent to get that doctor's degree.
Right.
And you're going to do what? So I will say that to others, but being able to incorporate it into my own life has been a major, major challenge. It is just, it's a struggle I have to this day.
So we have some folks who have asked you to talk about what your business is.
Oh, my business is
use this as an opportunity.
That's right. Thank you, Erin. I have a business called On Time Tasks Virtual Solutions. And what do I do there? I provide virtual executive level services for CEOs. So if you're a business owner, then I'm your CEO, I'm your person. I provide social media graphics. I provide reports, blogging, email automation, content writing, landing pages, et cetera, et cetera. So if you need that, I don't have to be where you are to make sure that you're the star of the show. And that's what I do. That's what I do. And I do that in a number of ways because I find that I do a lot of coaching. And if I can coach them to the point where they can take it over, a lot of what I do for my clients now, I'm going to have to do it. They don't want to do it. I say I save you time, I increase your energy level, I manage your resources, and I feel that skill set gap that you don't want to use or you don't even have. Because a lot of people are like, I don't even know what that button is. Where is the button?
That.
That's
I don't
right.
want to create content. I don't.
It's like, I don't want to do that. I was doing something for a client that is taking a week off. And I was like, okay, let me get that done. Thank you, Candace. Let me get that. And let me know if any comments, because I can't see comments. Erin can't.
And I can only see them through my watch party, not yours. So
Okay, got you. So Candace, I think I need you.
Thank you, Candace. You're like our official Facebook watcher.
Again, Erin?
I said, thank you, Candace. You're like our official Facebook watcher.
She said, thank you so much. She's not coming on camera. Can you hear me good? You can hear me good?
I could hear you better before.
Okay, let's put them back in.
Sorry.
Thank you. I do. And
there we go.
I find coaching people because I still have that mental health aspect of what I do. So I end up coaching them in ways that will help their business to see. What I say is that I'm a footer. And if anybody's in construction, the footer is the thing that goes under the foundation. That's exactly what it does. You never see the footer. People talk about the foundation of a thing, but before you can have a foundation, you got to have a footer. So I act as your footer. You never see me, but you see the results of what I do. So I have the capability to be able to take your voice and speak in your voice to your audience, even though I may be creating the content. So I do that when I'm content writing. I've been gifted to be able to get into people's spirit, and I don't mean woo 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 woo, but to be able to really get to know them on an intimate level, and to be able to write the content that speaks to their audience and expresses what their needs are, or what they are offering to the world, and how they can help them heal. So I tell people,
it's all indicative of it's all connected. I mean, you're doing different things in different areas, but it's all indicative of your deep sense of compassion and connection, and an understanding of the human condition, right? And so being able to help someone to tell their story is, you can do it over here, you can do it over here, but that kernel of skill is the same, right? That immediate thing where you look at somebody and you go, oh, I get it. Okay,
I get it. Right. And yeah, it's like people have told me, they said, I didn't even know I needed this. And it wasn't from a standpoint of a service maybe I offered, but I may be saying, no, let's look at this a little differently. I know we're talking about apples and oranges, but we really need to be talking about the chocolate chip cookies. That's what we really need to be talking about. Or as in one client, I said to her, she said, well, what do you do? I said, you keep talking. And as you talk to me, I'm hearing the Spirit of the Lord tell me what to do. And then I put my skill set that he's gifted me with on top of that. Right. And I come up with a plan on how I can be able to help you. So, and I love doing that. And I realized I really like creating. I like, whether it's a business card, I'll let somebody else create my business card. But whether it's a business card, a web page, a blog, a crocheted blanket, a sign, that's how I show up in the world, by creating space through Talks with T for people to have conversations. So
conversations.
Yeah. Right. So yes, that is how that's what my business is. So it's On Time Task Virtual Solutions. And you can find me on Facebook at that address, at On Time, ONTIMETASKS Virtual VIRTUAL Solutions, all one word.
I'm putting it in the comments. That didn't come up though.
Okay.
On Time Task Solutions.
Virtual Solutions.
Virtual Solutions.
Oh, and I see that Melissa left a comment. It says, love the big hair heaven quote. I guess the 80s were my best chance at the pearly gate. I hear you and I see you,
love
Melissa.
you, Melissa. So, first of all, Matt Ray is going to get in touch with you. He is a small pickle manufacturer. And so he's been chatting with us this whole time. Hey, Erica. So he's he needs to talk to you. So,
okay, great.
So this was worth your while this evening.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
So when you started out, if I remember correctly, this is like in our last 10 minutes, we can talk about this, but if anybody wants to, pipe in with a question or a comment, please feel free to do so. You were at one point having a lot of conversations within churches about mental health and, your journey and trying to encourage people to be, to be more comfortable getting help if they needed it, or supporting family members if they needed it, or just, sort of changing their perception of what mental health and mental illness is. So how have you seen that change, over the last few years, or have you?
To be honest, I know that we're saying, we being the community at large, and then the faith community, we're saying we're having authentic conversations. What I'm finding is that we're not. Okay. We're doing what looks good. This is my opinion. We're doing what looks good. We're bringing in the professionals. My son's sister had an event. Her name is Alicia Green, and she is the owner of Art of Me. So Alicia had an event, and she called me afterwards, and she said, Tara, I had the professionals on that were supposed to be speaking, and they did, from their own lived experience. She said, but nobody really connected the dots for them. And I said, that's my challenge. I'm seeing faith communities of all types of faith bring in the professionals, and the professionals are not connecting on that emotional level, because I think you and I know that if you can connect on an emotional level, you can make a bigger impact. Yes. So as part of my ongoing training, I have just taken the emotional CPR course directly from Dan Fisher himself. So I was like, I didn't even know how big that was until somebody told me. I was like, but I'm not seeing people connect in the faith community on that authentic level, because it's still a big stigma. So as a result, I'm going to continue to keep talking about it. And I say this often, and I think you've heard me say, you can tell your story without telling your business.
Exactly.
People know my story. They don't know the details of it. You know what I'm saying?
They know what you're comfortable sharing, right?
That's right. That's right.
Exactly.
And until we're able to tell our stories to ourselves, as you and I know, we're not ready to tell it to someone else. Yeah. So I tell people, you may know, if I had a story that I was in $1 million worth of debt, but you may not know how and now I'm out. Right. So that's my victory. But I just told you my story. I didn't tell you my business of how I got there, whatever that might have been. So I'm finding that the more I speak from that authentic place, it allows people to loosen up, but we're still not having that authentic conversation. What I would like to do is actually just reach out to some churches and say, hey, what about this? And, actually, Erin, as I'm sitting here with you, I'm thinking that we can, if they can have concerts virtually, we know we can do the If You Could See Me project, but maybe we could do it in a way that is different, that we can go into these we can go into these faith communities. And because in the African American community, it is still a big stigma. Again, I hear people, we say we're having the conversation. Let me just make it short and sweet. Right. We say we're having the conversation. I don't see that we are. So I really don't.
Well, that was why it was really important to me, to be as inclusive and diverse as a organization, as a project as possible, because, who you are and where you come from is huge. It impacts your cultural experience around, mental health and mental illness, and, weakness.
Yes, come on, say it.
Like, I don't think mental health issues are a weakness, but it is a vulnerability that a lot of people and a lot of different cultures don't like to accept or acknowledge. And
Absolutely.
so, I knew that it was really important to me to have as many people from as many different backgrounds as possible to join our conversations, because I can only tell my story, and you can only tell your story.
That's right.
Right. And so, but an African-American person who grew up in the church is going to relate more to your story than they are necessarily to mine.
Right.
And so it is just a matter of, of recognizing the difference in, and the impact that individual culture and family culture has on how we feel about it. And I do think that, it's just like anything else, any change just comes from sustained effort. Right?
Absolutely.
Like, we just keep showing up and we keep saying it. And eventually, look, there's always going to be people who don't want to hear it.
Come on now.
Right? They're not ready. They're afraid. It's too much.
Absolutely.
And God bless them. Let them, go forth and do what they got to do. But there will be people who are ready. Every time you show up, every time I show up, maybe they weren't ready last time, but they're
ready this time. Right. And I see, because I'm working with CEOs, I'm working with women and some men who are in the higher range income bracket, and they're faith people as well. That's what I say. They're faith people. And I'm like, okay. But at the end of the day, you still need help.
Right.
So where can you go to feel not boxed in as though you were in a clinical setting, but not boxed in as though you were in a clinical setting, but that you can share in the stories of others and see. I mean, I did a presentation in a facility, and can I tell you, a lady walked up to me, and she just happened to be Caucasian. And she said, well, can I come to your church? I said, baby, yes. I said, now I can't guarantee we're not going to be playing Tupac or doing the electric slide, but you're welcome to come. And she said this to me, which broke my heart, and still breaks my heart. She said, but I'm white, as if I didn't know that. And I have tattoos, as though I couldn't see that. I took her hand and looked her in the eye. I said, sweetie, all are welcome. We believe that. And then she went on, she said, but my life, honey, nobody's trying to sleep with you. Come on to the church. Was I supposed to say that on TV? Are we going to get in trouble? I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, if you're healing, if we connected on that level, come, because
where do you feel closest to God?
Yes. I'm like, oh my God. And when I hear, I know about that. When I hear people say certain things, my people that know me say, stop churchifying people. Stop churchifying me. Stop telling me that I need to pray more. I need to fast more. I need to read the scriptures. Perhaps I will do that, because personally, I do believe in the disciplines of the church. But honey, sometimes I just need to take the medicine, and the medicine may not be a physical pill.
Right.
The medicine may be something else. So we're gonna have to get together and figure something out. So
absolutely, my earring just fell out.
Oh my gosh, and I love them.
I do too. I'm very sad. Well, now I just have one in my ear for the moment.
Hey.
Well, I think though that it's just the medicine, and we can near the end of our conversation, but the medicine is whatever works for you, right?
Come on. Yes.
And like, is it a pill? Is it church? Is it prayer? Is it, meditation? Is it yoga? Is it like, is it nature? I mean, whatever it is, as long as you're not hurting anybody, which I think goes without saying.
Right.
Whatever you need to be your best self, to get where you need to go, then by all means do it.
Absolutely.
And, it's not a judgment. It's not, it's just do what you have to do.
Do what you have to do. And that's what I say all the time. Just do what you have to do to get where you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I've just been blessed on my healing journey to meet some fantastic people. Of course, you're one of my heroes.
You too.
So yeah, we're going to get it done. We're just going to keep beating at it and beating at it. And it's not a dead horse. We're going to keep showing up. We're going to keep showing up in our authenticity. We're going to keep showing up, letting people know that it's okay to say, I'm not okay.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't negate any of the gifts and talents you bring to the table and your contribution to the world, because we have a strength and compassion with lived experience that I don't think other people have. We have a resiliency that I honestly don't believe other people have. And I say that from the standpoint of we keep getting up. We keep getting, we just keep doing what's necessary to show up, to make an impact for other people, for ourselves and our families, our friends, but for other people, so that they will see that, come on, baby, you can walk in my shoes. I will give you my shoes if I have to, but you definitely can walk in my shoes and you can follow the steps I've taken. And perhaps you have to veer to the left or right, but it's doable if you want to do this. So thank you so much for having me on.
I wish I could give you a hug.
Oh, I know.
All these miles away and the social distance away. I hate that I can't give you a hug. I hate that we're not in person.
I know.
For those of you out there who have joined us this evening, thank you so much, Tara. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Erin.
If you are struggling, reach out, find your support people. I will put up some numbers and some warm lines and all the things that are available in the communities nationally and locally for you if you need them. Whatever your path is, take it, walk it.
Yes.
And if you have to put a smile on your face, that's okay.
That's okay.
Just, let somebody know when you're struggling. Ask for help, connect with your friends, join a Facebook Live and have a conversation. Connect however you want, however you can.
That's it.
So for all of these wonderful folks out here in Facebook land, I am going to ask you all to go to www.ifyoucouldseeme.com. If you're not already on our mailing list, please join the mailing list. There's a little pop-up thing that says enter your information or subscribe, and you will be entered to in a drawing to win a t-shirt. So please join our mailing list. Go to Patreon and become a subscriber. You can do it for $1 a month or $5 a month. We're just launching the Patreon and I'm really excited about it. The podcast can be found on all the places where podcasts are found, and this will be on YouTube. I am so grateful every day to get to do this work, to get to talk to amazing people like you, Tara, and to, not only get to connect with you and, see you tell your story on stage, but to have developed a friendship with you.
Yes, a true friendship.
It's a real relationship. It's a connection, and it's one that I value immensely. So thank you so much for joining this evening. Thank you to everyone out there, and we will do this again soon.
Yes, we will. Bye-bye.